world's first bionic superhumans. They're stronger than us, faster, smarter. The next generation of the human race is...
living in my basement?
Most people remember Lab Rats as just another Disney XD show that got cancelled after 4 seasons. It disappeared, a new show showed up, and over time, that's simply how a lot of fans remembered it. But when you take a closer look, that's not actually the full story. Technically, Lab Rats didn't just disappear. Instead of making a traditional 5th season, Disney took the franchise in a completely new direction. They decided to combine Lab Rats with one of their other superhero series, Mighty Med, creating an entirely new show called Lab Rats Elite Force. It was a bold idea, but it wasn't one that every fan was excited about. To understand why Disney made that decision, we have to go back to what made Lab Rats such a hit in the first place. When the series premiered in 2012, it quickly became one of Disney XD's most recognizable live-action shows. It mixed superhero action with comedy, family moments, and just enough science fiction to make the idea of having a bionic siblings seem believable. The story centered around Leo, an ordinary teenager whose life changed overnight after discovering 3 teenagers with incredible bionic abilities, Adam, Bree, and Chase, living beneath his house in a secret underground lab built by billionaire inventor Donald Davenport. From the beginning, the show found a balance that a lot of superhero series struggled to capture. Sure, there were missions, villains, and high-tech gadgets, but there were also awkward family dinners, sibling rivalries, school problems, and plenty of comedy. The characters felt like a real family first and superhero second. That balance became one of the biggest reasons people connected with the show. Adam's over-the-top confidence, Bree's determination, Chase's constant need to prove himself, and Leo somehow getting caught in the middle of everything gave each episode a personality that went beyond the action scenes. As the years went on, Lab Rats continued expanding its world. New characters were introduced, the stakes became higher, and the franchise even grew into Lab Rats Bionic Island. To many viewers, it felt like the series was continuing to evolve rather than slowing down. That's why what happened next caught so many fans off guard. Instead of announcing another season of Lab Rats, Disney revealed something very different. The network had already crossed the series over with another superhero show, Mighty Med, and now it planned to take that idea even further. Rather than continuing both shows separately, Disney created a brand new series called Lab Rats Elite Force. The new show would bring together characters from both worlds and continue the story as one shared universe. It was an ambitious move and one that reflected a growing trend in entertainment, where studios were trying to build connected universes instead of keeping every series on its own. And at first, the idea actually sounded pretty exciting. Disney had already brought the 2 worlds together in a crossover event called Lab Rats vs. Mighty Med. For fans of both shows, it was a chance to see characters who had spent years in separate series finally share the screen. But looking back now, that crossover was much more than just a special event. It was quietly setting the stage for what Disney had planned next. Instead of treating it like a one-time adventure, the network was using it to introduce a much bigger change that most viewers didn't see coming. On paper, it wasn't such a bad idea. Shared universes were becoming incredibly popular, and bringing together 2 established shows gave Disney the chance to build something even bigger than either series on its own. If fans already loved both worlds, combining them seemed like it could be the best of both. But almost as soon as the cast was revealed, fans started noticing something was different. 2 of the original show's biggest characters, Adam and Leo, weren't part of the new main cast. Within the story, the show explains that Adam and Leo stayed behind to help oversee Davenport's Bionic Academy while the others joined the Elite Force, and that kind of gave viewers an in-universe reason for their absence. It still felt strange seeing the franchise continue without the 2 characters we grew up watching. And to be clear, Disney never publicly said there was behind-the-scenes drama or conflict that kept Adam and Leo out of the series. Over the years, plenty of rumors have circulated online, but none have ever been backed up by reliable evidence. All we know for certain is that the show chose to focus on a different group of main characters. That decision quickly became one of the biggest talking points among fans. Across online discussions, many viewers said the new lineup simply didn't feel like the lab rats they had fallen in love with. Even though familiar faces were still there, something about the new dynamic had changed. I think one of the biggest reasons Lab Rats worked so well was because it never forgot the characters behind the powers. Sure, they were saving the day, but they were also arguing over dumb stuff, dealing with school, annoying each other, and trying to live somewhat normal lives. It felt like a family sitcom that just happened to have superheroes. Lab Rats Elite Force leaned much harder into the superhero side of things. Instead of the Davenport house being the heart of the story, the team operated out of a high-tech penthouse, spending most of their time preparing for missions and taking on new villains. That change wasn't necessarily a bad thing, it was just different. For some fans, the bigger action and higher stakes were exciting, but for others, it felt like the series had lost some of the charm that made Lab Rats stand out in the first place. There was another challenge too. While Lab Rats had a huge audience, not everyone was watching Mighty Med and following along. Suddenly, these viewers were expected to jump into a story with characters they barely knew, while Mighty Med fans were doing the exact same thing with the Lab Rats cast. Instead of feeling like a fresh start, it left some people feeling like they had missed a part of the story. The crossover that connected both worlds made perfect sense if you had watched both shows, but if you hadn't, it could be a little confusing. You can still see that reaction years later. Looking back, one of the most common things fans mention is that Elite Force never quite captured the same feelings that the original Lab Rats had. Some missed the family dynamic, others missed Adam and Leo, and plenty simply wished that the original series had continued on its own. And of course, fan reactions don't always determine whether a show succeeds. Plenty of series divide audiences and still go on to run for years. So the real question is, what happened to Elite Force? Unfortunately, the answer is almost as surprising as the show's creation. After just one season and only 16 episodes, Lab Rats Elite Force came to an end. There wasn't a second season, there wasn't a TV movie to wrap everything up, and there wasn't even a proper finale that gave fans closure. To make matters even worse, the series ended by setting up future conflicts instead of wrapping everything up. Just when it seemed like the adventure was about to get even bigger, it was over. And to this day, many fans still wondered what those unfinished storylines were supposed to lead to. So, why did Lab Rats Elite Force end after just one season? That's the question fans have been asking ever since the finale aired. And surprisingly, there's never been one clear answer. Over the years, fans have come up with all kinds of theories about why the show ended. Some believe the crossover concept never fully clicked with audiences, others think too many familiar faces were missing, and some simply feel the new series lost balance of comedy, family, and action that made Lab Rats so memorable in the first place. Whether those theories are true is impossible to say. What matters though is they reflect how many viewers felt after watching the spinoff. Even years later, those same conversations continue whenever Elite Force comes up online. There's also another piece of the puzzle that's worth mentioning. Around this time, Disney XD itself was beginning to change. The network slowly started moving away from producing as many live-action scripted series, putting more focus on animated programming and other content. While Disney never confirmed that this is why Lab Rats wasn't renewed, it does help explain the environment the show was airing in. When you look at everything together, it's easy to see why fans still find the situation so unusual. Lab Rats didn't end with a big farewell season. It evolved into a new series, and that series ended only after 16 episodes, and the story was left unfinished. In a way, that's what makes the ending so memorable. Not because it wrapped everything up, but because it didn't. Instead of giving fans closure, it left them wondering what could have happened next, and that's a question that's never really been answered. Even though Lab Rats Elite Force didn't last long, the original Lab Rats still left behind a huge legacy. The show was one of the most defining series of the Disney XD era. It was a show that mixed superhero stories with comedy and family moments in a way that made it stand out. Disney had a plan. They tried something different by combining two worlds and creating a new superhero team. But sometimes even a good idea on paper doesn't work out the way people expect. And that's the strange story of how Lab Rats ended. Not with the final goodbye, not with a huge finale, but with a completely different show that only lasted one season before disappearing. Maybe the most surprising part is that after all these years, fans are still talking about it, because sometimes the shows that leave us with the most questions are the ones we remember the longest.